Welcome to the Cannon County Chamber Connection. I forgot where I was at there for a moment. And as always, thanks to DTC for allowing us to have this show. We really do appreciate it. And, you know, to start this off, I want to know what happened to summer, because all of a sudden I'm wearing a coat, and the warm weather and the warm days, I think, are behind us. I'm not sure, because we're supposed to have freeze warnings, I believe. I wasn't ready for it quite so quickly, but I guess they didn't ask me, so they'll do what Mother Nature will do what she wants to, won't she? I do want to remind you, even though you probably already know this, the time will be changing this coming weekend, and you will fall back an hour. So that'll give you an extra hour of sleep in the morning. Takes a little getting used to, but I can fall back better than I can fall forward. I'll just tell you right now. Halloween is over, so you know what that means. That means Thanksgiving and Christmas. Hey, right around the corner.
That means I've got to take down my Halloween decorations.
That would help, unless they've got red and green eyes or something that, you know, that could pass.
That would be pretty cool.
I do remember I had a pumpkin one year that just would not die. And so I just didn't have it in me to throw him away. So I just put a Christmas hat on him and sat him on the front porch, and he was okay for a while.
I think that pumpkin's probably haunted.
I don't know, but he wouldn't die.
He wouldn't die, no.
He wouldn't rot, he wouldn't do anything, so I just decorated him. I love Christmas, and I like Thanksgiving too, but somehow in there Thanksgiving got kind of lost in between Halloween and Christmas. But I love the holidays, and I love the decorations, and I like everything that goes with it. So don't say anything bad about it, Keith. I do have some guests with me today, and one of them is one of my favorite people, Beth Mcqueary, and she is the director of the Art Center. And tell us what you got planned for the Christmas season, Beth.
Well, for Christmas season, we have, starting around November 16th, they're going to start loading up next week, but in this area we're at right now called Cannon Hall, we'll have White Oak craft artists. A lot of the artists, well, not a lot, but a portion of the artists that were out in the field during the White Oak Craft Fair will be in here with booths. Now, they will not be here, they will not man their booths, but they will have booths in here, and it will stay up until we close December 23rd. And we usually close around then. Sometimes we're still open on Christmas Eve, and one of us may be here. But until we close for Christmas.
Just whoever wanders in, huh?
Probably me. But it will be in here. And so it'll be great Christmas shopping. We did this last year, but this year it's bigger. We're not having a display on the walls except for that wall. So it will be all around the walls and in the center. So there will be around 14 or 15 booths, I believe. Last year we just had 8.
I know last year you had a gentleman that does wooden toys.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. He's one of my favorite ones. I love them. I don't know why I like them, but I do.
Oh, they're great.
And he does a great job with them.
He does, and he is coming, I do believe.
Oh, good.
He hasn't confirmed, but he thinks he's coming. And that is Gary Tanner. We have Maggie Sunsera with the scarves. We have several potters like Gwen Copeland, Caitlin Savage.
Is Kay gonna have
Kay
one
Curry.
there?
Yeah, so we'll have some wood bowl people, and James Adkins is coming. But anyway, it's a great Christmas shopping time. It really is. It did well last year, so we decided to do it again this year because artists have not had as many outlets to sell their wares as before. So we're trying to help them out too.
Okay.
You know, because places are closed and
They haven't had as many
there's not
art
as many
fairs.
fairs. You know, a lot of those fairs were canceled, so they don't have anywhere to sell them. So we're doing that again, and it will, like I said, we're here Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 4. So from November 16th till we close for Christmas. you
It'll
can
be
come.
set up.
It'll be set up.
So you can come in any of those hours and browse around?
You can, as well as our gift shop, yeah.
Right. And they have some great jewelry in the gift shop.
And there's some very reasonably priced great jewelry.
Yeah, there really is.
It's really a good
And
price.
also, they have some, they have soap, they have books.
They have great soap. I think
We
one of your-
sell a lot of books.
Yes, we do sell a lot of books for Becky Murray's books.
Yes, we do.
And the soap is Camille, who is supposed to be here today. She's still coming?
Okay, Camille
think she
may
is.
not make it,
May not
but
make
she
it, but anyway,
said some
she
people
makes some
here.
great smelling soaps. You just walk through the gift shop and you smell them. It smells so good.
You can.
But anyway, and then in December, we have a play coming up called From Charlie, A Christmas Carol. It's a version of A Christmas Carol where Charles Dickens is telling the story, and he's on stage writing as things are happening around him, and he changes his mind, and you know, things.
Yes, he raises
it's really
it and it
nice.
does something
It's
else.
really a great story. We did it last year, but only virtually, so not many people have gotten to see it.
Right.
And it was a local who wrote it, Renee Robinson, and she's directing it also. But it's really good. It's really sweet, and you'll really, well, if you like the Christmas story, you'll like this one better even.
Oh, well, that's,
Can you
I do like the
imagine
Christmas
Charles
story.
Dickens is sitting out there writing and we're seeing stuff portrayed before our very eyes and all of a sudden he says, oh, I got to erase something, and the person disappears?
Well, it's kind of neat. He interacts with them too a little, mostly with Scrooge a little bit, and he'll say, oh, no, 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 you know. And
You can't
it's
do
just,
that.
It's just, I don't know, it's just a really good, I really enjoyed watching it last year. And she revised it a little bit for this year. I haven't seen this one, but I mean, it's basically the same. She just revised a couple things, but.
Well, I love the Christmas story already. I always have. So.
And it's a, you know, a little bit scary when the ghost comes out. It is. So.
Just
the
in
way
time for
they're doing it.
Halloween, right?
Yeah. But that's December 3rd through the 18th, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. You can call for tickets, go online to our website.
And Sundays are a matinee, right?
Sundays are matinee at 2. The only date we won't have an actual showing will be the 11th. And we are retaping again, so we will have one virtual day
Oh,
on that day
okay.
that people will be able to watch it at home.
All right.
But tickets are $15 for adults, $13 for students and seniors, and it's 615-563-2787.
You can't go anywhere for that amount of money anymore.
No.
I mean, that's a lot of entertainment for that amount of money. It really is. And how many people, I mean, bring your kids, because there's not too many kids that get to see live performances unless they come to the kids show, and you really haven't been able to have those, have you?
No, we had to cancel the one for this month again. So we now canceled, I don't know, 4, 5 kids shows, I guess. I'd have to go back and think about it a little bit, but of course we've canceled a lot of shows totally, but we're kind of getting back into it. We are selling season tickets for next year, which we've already got that set. You can buy 6 shows for $70, which is a good
And
deal.
that's a good gift.
It is a good Christmas
It is.
gift. It really is. It's Freaky Friday, Harvey, which is a sweet show. If nobody's seen it, it's an older show. Good old movie. Matilda, which is one we missed last year. Cinderella is one we missed last year. And then the play that goes wrong, which is a play that just goes wrong. Everything happens, things fall, things break, props
I have
don't work.
days like that, I do.
Me and Carolyn will volunteer to be in that play, by the way.
And then
We'll
the
be
last-
stars of the show, for
Yeah.
sure.
And the last one is called The Christmas Schooner, and it is a musical, but it is a beautiful story. It really
Okay,
is.
good.
Really nice story.
You don't have any concerts that you know of coming up?
We haven't said any yet. We will. We do plan on it. We have some in mind.
Now, the season tickets don't include the concerts, do they?
They do not. no.
Okay.
Concerts actually rent our space, and they set their own pricing and such. So
Right.
those are rentals. We don't produce them or anything. We just, if they need help with sound, we do help with that. But that's it.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell us?
No, it's cold outside.
It is cold outside. I'm
really
about
cold
to
this morning.
freeze.
I'm not a fan of cold weather.
No, me neither.
But
Well, Beth,
that's
we
it.
appreciate
Let me
you
leave it
coming
to
on
you.
and, yes, and letting us know what's going on.
Oh, you're
And
welcome.
I think the Christmas booth will be that will be a good thing.
It is, and really, it's one-of-a-kind things. These people make this stuff by hand, so it's all art, and it's just great. I mean, there's a lot of functional things there. If you're not a person who hangs things on the wall or just sets stuff around, there's a lot of functional pottery and functional woodwork.
Things
There's things you
use.
would actually use, not just look at.
Except for the
So
wooden toys.
kids would
and
use those.
Kids would. I've got a great-grandson that I may just introduce him to those. He likes cars and trucks. And
One other thing I did forget, and that is the Nashville Artists Guild has their artwork set up in the front. And they will have a couple of extra paintings in here because they were so big I couldn't hang them all in there. But, I mean, they have huge paintings, but it's beautiful, beautiful art in there.
You know, another thing I want to remind you, we have Short Mountain Cultures, and they are connected to the Art Center, and they have a store that has a little bit of everything. But if you like farm-to-table type things, fermented, lots of things that they have in there. Kombucha, do they have? Yeah, they have kombucha.
They have
don't
kombucha, they have water kefir, and they make their own sauerkraut and other things such as that. I can't recall
Goat
what
cheese.
else. They don't make the goat cheese. No, they do buy local goat cheese to
Yeah.
resell. They make like a coconut kefir. It's really good. Tastes kind of like a sour cream, but it's got a little zip to it.
A little kick
It's
to
good. It's really good.
A little
There's-
kick for the
Well,
holidays.
not kick. No, not that kind of kick. I mean a flavor kick, like a
I
coconut
know.
flavor. But no.
You gotta clarify because we are talking about fermented products. So
Yeah, they don't sell any alcohol.
No, they don't.
Yeah, but they have they have produce, they have vegan items if there's a vegetarian out there.
And they have
That's the
some of
only
the
place you
best
can get some of
sugar-free
this
candy I've ever eaten.
There's a lot in there you can't get anywhere else in Canyon
Right.
County, so it's a good place to shop.
It's a good place to visit and see. You'd be surprised. You really will.
You would. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, Keith. So what's happening? Ladies, you can come on
well,
up.
of course this will be after the taping, but Canyon County High School football made their first playoff game since 2009.
Well, I'm proud of
So-
them. I am.
We'll see the school that got, all of a sudden, everybody says, hey, there's a mountain, let's put a school on top of it. Bam,
There you are.
Signal Mountain. And if you've ever driven up to Signal Mountain High School, or just Signal Mountain, period, if you've never driven, you're in for a treat. You ought to go sometime. It's a roller coaster.
When my grandson was in college in Maryville, we went to a ball game, and I can't remember the name of the school. But when you said sitting on top of a mountain, this school was sitting
Well,
on
if
top
I
of
remember
a
right,
mountain.
your grandson was part of the basketball team that went up to
Right.
Signal Mountain in high school his senior year.
He might have.
I think so.
I'm sure he did. I can't believe I missed one.
No, I don't think
so.
I think you made it. That one you didn't make it? I know Danny Rulin, your son was there. Danny was there. I remember him.
I'm sure that I've
But yeah,
probably
this
was
was-
up there. I just don't remember it. But that one in Maryville was definitely at the top of a mountain. And the road up there and coming back, it was kind of pretty really because you could see lights from everywhere. But it was, I wasn't sure where we was going to park once we got up there, but
Yeah, so like I was talking to somebody else saying, man, if we go to their football field, you kick a football, it goes down the mountain. Because it's right
got
on
to
the
go
edge.
down there in
Yeah.
Maryville and hunt it up. Huh? Okay, I have two more guests here, and I'm going to let you introduce yourselves. Who wants to talk first?
I'll go.
Christine.
I'm Christine O'Day. I am the Youth Service Officer for Cannon County.
Okay.
And I'm Tammy Jones. I work for a nonprofit here in Cannon County. It's called Cannon County Save, and we handle domestic violence cases here in the county.
You ladies have an event coming up that is probably the first of its kind here. This will be the first year for it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have all gotten together, the CASA program, the domestic violence, and I don't know if the Child Advocacy Center is involved.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, who are you with?
I'm I'm the youth service officer,
Okay.
so I'm with juvenile court.
Okay.
Yes.
And it is called, let me
It's
see.
the Parent Resource
Yeah,
Fair.
Parent Resource Fair. Now, what is that all about?
Well, Ms. Christine, you want to tell
Sure.
how we came to this point?
Yes, so we were at a coalition meeting a couple months ago, and a few of us were talking about how we thought, this information would be so beneficial to the parents, and how, not many know what's available in our county as far as resources and organizations, and even just activities for kids to do. So we started talking, and we thought, wouldn't it be great to kind of bring everybody together in one place so that parents and families can walk around, ask questions, get information, and just be aware of what's out there, what we have here in Cannon County. We have a lot more than I think people realize. They can get information and just find out what's out there if they need it for their families, for friends, for their children.
Right.
And also, we thought, because our jobs are so specific to certain areas, that a lot of times families think that, until they come to us or before us for a reason, that's when they get these services. But
Right.
really, they're available before, as we talked about, like as prevention.
Yes.
Right.
For coming, having to come before the court or utilize.
And that's really the best kind in these situations, is if you can get in on the prevention of it.
Yes.
That's a lot of what this is, Ms. Carolyn, too, because where this conversation started was at the Cannon County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition, which we're all part of. Keith is as well. He's on the board of directors with me. And we provide education to the community every month, for the most part, how they can be educated, what to look for in your family members, friends that may be under the influence of something. We try to push the preventative, try to educate as much as we can, and that's where this all came to fruition. And the main attraction that we're going to have at this resource fair is sponsored by the coalition. It's called, it's the National Guard Counter-Drug Task Force trailer. And basically, if you are of age 18 and older, you can go through this trailer that is set up like a room, similar to a teenage or a young adult's bedroom. And you go through, and normal things that you would see in a room, like a deodorant, you're not going to think to look at that deodorant. You would walk past it. You would be more apt to check drawers, be going through drawers,
Right.
looking under beds. But it's called hidden in plain sight for a reason, because if you were to open up that deodorant, yes, on the top, there may be a little actual stick of deodorant, but below that, in the cavity of that deodorant stick, is where they're hiding drugs. Different things like that. So, like I said, the main attraction will be that Counter-Drug Task Force trailer. And we're encouraging everybody in the community, if you are 18 or over, to come and go through this trailer. Other resources that will be provided that day are some of the recovery programs that we have here in town. So Spring to Life and Stones River Recovery. Some of our post-recovery programs, like the Goliath and Celebrate Recovery, are going to be there to offer their resources. But then when we were talking about preventative, if we can get with the youth and the kids of this county and get them involved in activities like 4-H, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, some of the programs that are offered at the high school, or sports, which they're all going to be setting up as well to encourage kids to join these programs. If we can get them at a young age where they feel like they belong to something, instead of getting involved in things that are going to get them, growing up in domestic violence where they got to come see me, or in court where they got to come see Ms. Christine, or in these situations where they need CASA, child advocacy. We don't want them to get to that point. If we can use the preventative sources that we're setting up, and so that's the main function of this, is prevention, education, and let people know what resources are available in the county.
And the attention you have to get in something like that is the attention of the parents.
Yeah,
Because when the kids are little, You know, they're not going to be able to probably go on their own and get involved in these things. So
Yeah, absolutely.
you got to get the parents' attention.
Yes, yes. And you know, I'm a parent and my kids are adopted, and so I had to learn parenting quick, but my children come from a background where they've seen all that, been part of all that, and I don't want that for the rest of their life. We want to break the cycle, and that's why
Right.
that we have these girls. But you know, we're trying to educate, like you said, the parents, because that's where it's got to come from. It's got to come from the parents. Or even some of these organizations, some of these churches that step up and bust these kids in. You know, if they got to have that role model figure, if it's not the actual parent, if it's a grandparent. And as you all know, in this county, there's more grandparents and great-grandparents raising kids than I've
I
ever
do know
seen. And you know, they need help. They really do. And it takes a community. You always hear the expression that it takes a village. It really does, and we're the village. You know, as a team, we all need to, and that's why we're all good friends. We're all in different nonprofits and different agencies in the community, and collaboratively we were talking and realized that, you know, us as the village, we can make a difference. It's just a matter of getting out and getting people to come.
You have to get involved,
You have to get involved. You do.
Oh, absolutely.
You absolutely have
whether
to.
you want to or not. That's just like the CASA program.
Yes.
What that is involvement from the community as volunteers
Yes.
to go in and be an advocate for these children that are in foster care
Absolutely.
because they don't have anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to go in and say, sometimes, as much as I admire people that do foster care, I do admire them, but sometimes foster care homes are probably not the best thing either.
If they're in it for the wrong reason, as Christine
Right.
knows, because she's on a foster program as well.
Yeah.
You know, your heart has to be in it to change the lives of these children. If you're in it for any kind of monetary or glory kind of thing, that's not going to fix those children. They need unconditional love.
And kids know.
Oh, they do. Oh, they do.
They know right away.
Yeah, they do.
How many vendors do we have for this Parent Resource Fair so far?
It keeps
Organization?
changing daily, but I mean, we haven't gotten any rejections. I want to say there's going to be at least 20 or more,
it's gonna
25. I mean, you
Where
name
is
it.
this going to be at?
Right at the courthouse, next Saturday, November 13th. We'll be there from 12:30 to 4.
Is it going to be inside, outside?
It will be outside, so we're praying for good weather. We're also going to have Slick Pig there for food truck, for food. We're working on a few other little things to entertain the children while the parents are going through the trailer. You know, we're looking at local law enforcement and maybe fire department and a few other little surprises that we're trying to finalize, but I think it's going to be a good event.
Yeah.
Just got to get them to come. That's why we brought Slick Pig, because I was always told if you feed them, they will come.
Feed them, yes.
Well,
Door
we're not feeding. There will be food. We'll
make it
We're not. Yeah, bring your money to.
The thing about that is, it's not just food, it's door prizes and food.
Yes, that does always work too.
But that's fine. I think
Or
this
like
is
last week,
great.
I guess Candy would bring them out, you know,
Yeah.
so.
But yeah, I think that
People
trailer.
like an event.
Yeah,
so.
and I think that trailer enough should really be the. You see, what we notice, especially with these recovery programs, people don't want to learn about substance abuse or anything like that until it's a problem.
For
Once
them.
Yes, once it's a problem in your home or in your family, it might be a little bit too late to fix it. If you can start recognizing some of the warning signs by going to some of these trainings that educate you what to look for, maybe we won't have to go to Stones River Recovery or Spring to Life or Buffalo Valley or wherever you need, because once you're to that point, the chance of relapse and full recovery, it's unless they're totally determined, it's just so hard. It's hard on, I've seen families destroyed because of that, and it's because we don't take the time to educate ourselves, and it's free. It's not like there's a charge to come in the door. It's just, we publicize this on social media and post it around town anytime there's any kind of trainings. And
I think a lot of times people are aware if there is a problem. The problem is they don't want to share that with everyone. They don't want everybody to know, well,
what's going on in their home.
yeah, we've got, a son or a daughter or a family member that's dealing with this. But one thing I've always thought is if you're going to have these organizations and everything that go out of their way, you've got to have somewhere where they can go if it's to that point. And I thought that was what we were lacking. But you've mentioned several. 2 of them I was aware of.
Yes.
That you could, if they need outside the home.
What about children?
Counseling.
What about teenagers? Like say you find somebody or parents say, hey, look, my kid does have a problem with drugs, because we've done a survey, a student survey, so it's out there.
Oh, yes.
What kind of resources are available to them, and are they going to be at this particular resource fair? Because that's where the kids, the opportunity is. Because you got Spring to Life and Stones River Recovery and stuff, but that's more for the adults. Now we're talking about teenagers and such.
So we do have that. We work a lot with Health Connect, Mental Health Cooperative in Rutherford County, but we do have Health Connect is local, so they will be at the resource fair.
Good.
But
And Mental
yes,
Health Co-op will be as
and
well.
Mental Health
Where
Co-op.
are they located at?
Health
Connect.
We do have people who come to Cannon County.
Okay.
I believe their office is in Sparta, if
Okay.
I'm not mistaken. But we do
Okay.
have therapists that come
Someplace
here.
that can.
Yes.
And they will do in-home, they go to the schools, so they really make it to where they can work with the child and the family schedule to help them. And I know when we get kids through, juvenile court, that's what we do. We have them do alcohol and drug assessments, which will just help to determine where they need the help. At what point are they at, and where do we need to intervene? And so these organizations do step in and help them.
One thing is, a lot of times, this is a learned behavior. And so you may have this going on in the home with the adults. The kids are going to pick up on it. So you can't really count on that counseling to come from the parents if they're involved in the same thing.
Now, we do also have, through the Child Advocacy Center, they have the Drug Endangered Child Program. And so Amanda Hammond is over that, and they do a lot of work with families. So if we ever have juveniles that come in that have come from a family of addiction, or if there's anything like that, she will work with them. So she'll go out and do home visits. She'll keep in touch with the families and just see what is it that they need, and just, be there as an added support
Yeah.
for them.
Well, that's all needed, because that happens.
Yeah. And we're
does.
trying to do a lot with the schools. We have programs that are going to be running through that were already pre-authorized, and education and just talking to the kids, getting on their level. And that's based off those results that Keith was talking about, the survey. It was done with 8th, 10th, and 12th graders, and they were asked various questions based off of what their exposure was to different types of drugs, alcohol, any kind of substance. And you
It
would
was
be
shocking, wasn't it?
very shocking, especially when the questions were asked, what was the first age that you consumed any of these? And they had a bracket on there that was 10 and under, and that should be 0 on everything.
Yeah.
And you would be surprised, even meth. There was at least a few children that had mentioned that under age 10 they used meth. And that's a major problem. In where
It is.
each meeting at our coalition meeting, we go over a little bit more of those results, because it was so involved. We didn't want to rush through it. We just take our time dissecting it to figure out where the main problems is. It's just sad.
Well, meth is.
Yes.
And the thing is, that's not age-related.
No.
They can cook it anywhere.
I know it.
And even if the child is in the proximity of where they're doing this, that's
Just as bad.
damaging them just by being around it.
Yes, yeah. We've actually had a
That's so
case
sad.
at court where there was a woman that did a drug screen, and she was so positive that she passed it, and they came back and said she didn't. And she said, well, that's impossible. And they asked, well, why? And she said, because she knew she was going to test positive, so she got urine from her friend's daughter that was 8. And it tested positive for methamphetamines, and that was due to her being in a home.
Where it was being fixed.
Yes. So, I mean, we see a lot of that.
I guess the concept I don't understand maybe is what brings people to think that they have to have something like this to begin with. I can't imagine if I thought I was going to have something that I would mix together whatever I could find in the house. Well, I kind of do that when I do my aroma thing for Christmas, because I mix together cinnamon and everything.
Well, and I even try to refrain from Coca-Cola once I found that it can take battery acid off your vehicle. I don't think I need to put that in my belly, and that's Coca-Cola.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I was in high school, and that's been a few years ago,
Me too.
in chemistry, they brought in a Coke, and they put a piece of meat in it. They just poured the Coke in there, and I forget what kind of meat it was. And after so many days, it ate it. And I drink Coke.
And that's Coca-Cola, so see?
What's going on in my belly?
So you don't know what it's ate out all these years.
Well, I think a lot of these methamphetamine addicted people, as well as just drug addicted people altogether, they hang around with somebody who's already doing it. All of a sudden they try it. Peer pressure is a big factor in this. And the next thing you know, they get hooked on it. And when you get hooked on something, I mean, you'll kill to you'll do whatever it takes to make what you need to make in order to get that high. I mean, methamphetamine users, and well as some opioid users as well, that's a lifelong drug. It is very hard to come off of that.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people used to work with people that on a daily basis that were addicted, and it's just sad to watch their lives go in ruin, but that's their everyday routine.
Meth is something, though, that changes your entire look. I mean, you could just about look at somebody and tell, because it has such dramatic effects. People that are young, that are on it all the time, they look like they've aged, and they didn't age well, I can tell you that, because anything that does that to you, you shouldn't take, and it's not cool. I'm just going to tell you right now, it's just not.
And I think, too, going back to, why people do it, I think that's where there's a lot of underlying issues in families and in homes, and there's a lot of it, I think, is trauma-based that just has not been dealt with. So they haven't had, people haven't had support, or they haven't, whether it was, abuse or whatever, violence, whatever they may have faced, but they didn't, for whatever reason, or weren't able to get the help that they need and to feel that support, so they turn to something. And, drugs, alcohol, it numbs it, but we're not getting to the root of the problem. And so I think that's what we're trying to do with this resource fair, and just becoming, trying to become more of a trauma-informed community, so that a lot of these underlying issues, we can address those and help give support to these parents, families, even teenagers, that, hey, there's other ways. Let's teach, healthy, positive coping strategies, so that when things do get harder, you're faced with something, you know how to handle it and move, and grow from it, rather than get caught up again in this cycle, because it seems to be very generational. And how do we break that?
And I think Keith did have something, especially with young ones or teenagers, is you do what all your
yeah.
buddies are doing.
And there's a lot of that.
Yeah, there
A lot
is.
of the peer pressure, or they just try it once and they're the one left holding it when
Yeah.
I also
the
think,
officer walks in.
you know, knowing adults and seeing adults are the same way, you know, relationships. Women get in relationships with men that are doing it, and I've known several, and they get hooked on it at that point in time. You know, there's a lot of factors involved.
I think, well, I'm not that easily convinced, let's put it that way, of whatever I don't want to do. It's going to, you know, I'm not going to do it because you're doing it.
Right. I'm one of those too, you know.
But there are people like that, and I think the younger generation. And another thing is, we see it everywhere. You see it on movies. You see it on, you see it on everything, you know. And sometimes they see it and they make it humorous or something like that.
They glamorize it.
And
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's not humorous at all. But that's just my opinion. But I do. That's just like, I hate commercials. There's very few commercials on TV that I like. But there's one now, and it's for hot chicken or something. And they have this woman coming out.
With them big, long, pointy nails.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
I know what you're talking
everything's
about.
bouncing. And I told my husband, that came on, and I says, what does that have to do with chicken? You know, I guess it's
Well, if it's long fingernails or
Oh,
something,
that
she can
wasn't
poke
all that was-
the chicken and
that wasn't all that was involved there.
Yeah,
But
I guess they were trying to portray her as hot, but I portrayed her as trashy.
so if you're watching this and you made this commercial for hot chicken,
I
you
don't
failed.
care. You need to take it away because I don't see what any of that has to do with chicken. And it didn't make me want to buy that chicken.
No.
Not at all.
Ms. Carolyn, we do have a solution, though, that the coalition has been working on because people weren't coming to us for the training. We started bringing the trainings to local churches.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, so if there's any churches out there that would like for us to bring any of these trainings to your church, it's a win-win because we can open it to the community, so community would be able to come visit your church, as well as it would be sponsored by your church and advertised through there. But what we figure is if we can, each congregation that we go to, if we can get them to listen just one time, maybe it would pique their curiosity to learn more, and that they'll either come to the next event or watch it on our Facebook page.
Or not be afraid if you're dealing with it.
Yes, yes. So we figured they're not coming to us, we're going to go to them and
That works,
make
girls.
a movement.
I don't see a thing wrong with that. I don't. And I think churches would be smart to get involved in this.
Gotta
Because
start
it's
somewhere.
all part of your well-being, where it be spiritual or whatever. This is important,
Yes, ma'am.
as important. Ladies, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I would like to just mention that we are, through juvenile court, we are starting a program called Handle with Care. So training is in the process. And what that is too, it connects law enforcement with the schools. So if there's an incident at a home that law enforcement or any first responder is involved with, there's no information given, just the names of the children, and it's passed on to the school so that they can handle the child with care the next day, be aware if there's any changes in behavior or anything. So there's never any details given. It's just strictly to try to shift our focus to behaviors that are, if the child is coming in and the behaviors are based on
Unique.
something they witnessed
Right.
the night before, that it can be handled differently at the schools. And I know our schools are wonderful with, how they handle behaviors and the trauma approach to it that they take. And so this is just another added program that we're going to start implementing.
You know, teachers are pretty sharp about that. They can pick up on a lot of those signals before anybody else does.
Yeah.
You know, so, and I think that's a good thing. I think that being involved, whether in this day and time especially, because not just with drugs, but with violence
Yes.
or anything like that, you know. I came from a different area, bigger schools. Fights were, this was years ago, but fights were not unusual. Of course, they didn't close down schools on account of it, but we didn't see too many guns. Now, it seems like the violence is just everywhere. Everything you go into is, you know, I look at the news every morning, and especially in Nashville, there's someone shot, and usually more than one, every single night, every night. That shouldn't be. You know, and I don't know what the answer to it is. I don't know that gun control is. I don't know what the answer is, but I don't know why everybody is so violent anymore about everything. Everybody thinks they have to shoot each other.
Yeah.
You don't have any answers either.
Well, I know the answer, but I don't know if we can discuss that here.
I think some of it too goes back to
Foundation.
And
It
you know,
does.
what they've been through, and it not getting the help that they needed at an early point.
You know, I guess sometimes I think, just like somebody being shot over a pair of tennis shoes. To me, I'm thinking, what? I don't care if they're Michael Jordan or Daffy Duck, you know. I just can't see that, but I mean, it happens.
It does. Yeah.
And we're just too,
And I think, like you said, about 98% of it has to do with foundation. You know, 98%, if not 100% foundation. Parents stopped being parents a long time ago, and that's when everything escalated. You know, if I'd pulled a gun on somebody, I wouldn't have lived to see my next day. You know, and there would not have been a gun used. No, there would not have been a gun used. Might have been a belt, no, willow switch or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, fights were prevalent when we were growing up, but you handled it with your fist, not a gun. You know, and you didn't.
I don't know that you'll ever take that out of.
No.
But it's not just teenagers anymore. This is adults that act like this.
Yeah.
That's weird. Okay, ladies, is there anything else?
I think we're good. We could talk all day, and I know you don't have time for that.
Well, I did have some extra time today, so this is good, because I think all of this is good. I think it's all needed. And I've got to give both of my admiration to both of you to take this on, because this is not easy. To go into people's homes, working with children and juveniles on an area like this is not easy. You know, a lot of people would kind of, well, I'll stay back here and see what happens, you know.
And a lot of parents will sit out there and thank you, but those juveniles, they don't, do they? You know, in your system, in your court system and stuff, I've sat in on a few things, and you know, you got to have the patience of Job to deal, but know that there could be some, you know, there could be some light at the end of the tunnel, if, you know, but it takes a while.
Well, and we figure, you know, if we're going to do everything we can for the kids in our community, and if it, you know, if it helps one person,
out of
one
all of
child,
them,
Right.
then
accomplish
it's
something.
then worth it. But,
Right.
you know, every single one of them.
You're
that
not
come
gonna
before us,
change
we're
all
not
of
gonna
them.
Turn our back. Yeah.
But you may get a hold of some of them.
Yeah.
But they can't say we haven't tried.
It's all in the trying, it is. All right, ladies. Have a
Thank
good
you for having
Thanksgiving.
us. You
Yes,
too.
happy Thanksgiving.
Y'all come out and see
Well,
us
I
next
hope your
Saturday.
event is good. I hope that's a good thing. It's
Yes.
something you can have every year.
We appreciate.
Yeah, we're hoping
We need to.
Yes.
We need to.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Uh-huh. All right, Keith, we're down to the events. November 12th and 13th will be Lions Club Coats for Cannon, and this will be on Friday and Saturday. Friday from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Lions Club Storage Building, and on Saturday from 8:30 to 12:30 at the Storage Building. These are free coats for anyone. If you know anyone living in Cannon County that needs a coat, please bring them out there. They also have a limited amount of socks and underwear, usually for younger, for little kids. But the only criteria to it is you have to live in Cannon County, and you also need to bring whoever you're getting a coat for with you so that they can try them on. And that will be on the November 12th and 13th. So if anybody in your family needs a coat, then please go out there. I'm sure they'll find one that can help you out.
And as cold as I get, I need about 2 or 3 of them at a time, I swear.
Well, I will tell you, it's going to take more than the time change for me to adjust to
You ain't
this, I'm
kidding.
going to tell you. Because this morning I dug out a sweater that I had that I could get to easily. And then, of course, coming up in November is the Cannon Country Christmas, and this is always a big event for us here in the county, and I always look forward to it. It will be the 19th and the 20th, and Santa will be brought into town at 5 o'clock on Friday night. The businesses will stay open late. They'll have great deals and discounts, lots of decorations. I love that. Keith is going to do the Christmas music from the Courthouse Square, and just a lot of people getting involved in it this year. We did make a few changes this year. One of them is that the front of the courthouse, this isn't new, but we will be blocking it off for insurance purposes because there's little kids running around there. There's also Santa, and we are going to have some booths that will set up there, and they do have to be a Cannon County business or a Cannon County organization. And I only have room for so many. So if there's anyone out there that would like to set up a booth, please give me a call and we'll see what we can do for you. Now, some of them that are already have scheduled to set up is the middle school baseball team, and they will be selling barbecue wings and butts, barbecue butts. You can have them for
We won't
Thanksgiving
go,
or
yeah.
whatever, huh?
I said we won't, yeah, just barbecue butts.
Okay, that's what I
Where, do
said.
you know where they're getting them from?
No, I don't.
Okay.
And I didn't ask because I thought, they're trying to raise money, so.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing.
And I don't know how many we have here where they could get that, like that. But please come out there, and if you'd like to get one, they will have them. Like I say, a lot of our antique stores will have discounts and lots of goodies and specials in their stores, and they will be staying open late. The Dillon Street Missionary Baptist Church will be setting up their live nativity scene on the Courthouse Square, and it's great. Last year, they had a live camel. They have several other live animals and a kangaroo. Now, I don't know where the kangaroo came in, except that where they get the animals, I do believe that he was left behind, so they just brought him.
And just a disclaimer, not that there was a pig in the nativity scene, but there will be no pigs in the nativity scene because they're going to be upset that their relatives are over there getting sold and barbecued.
Well, we won't tell them. We'll put them away from where they can see them.
Oh, no chickens
No, they
either.
do have
No
a
wings.
donkey. They did have a live camel. It's great. It's a great event, and we invite everybody to come to it. And another thing that will be set up that he has done this once before, and he was bombarded. But Ethan Campbell with Stones River Wealth Management is going to set up a booth and do his s'mores again. He'll have a little fire pit, and you can fix your
Go
s'mores.
over there and roast your
Hey, that's a big,
marshmallows.
that's
Yeah,
a big
it
thing.
is.
It is. And we welcome him to come in. And the thing that is new on Saturday, because this is all Friday night that all this takes place. On Saturday, of course, we encourage everybody to come in and shop some more because those specials and everything will still be there. But at 6 o'clock Saturday night, they will have the second Christmas parade, and of course the lights and everything. Most of it will be the businesses, but they're also encouraging floats from Cannon County organizations, fire halls, this type of thing. And another thing for this is the Courthouse Square, as beautiful as it is, when it gets dark, even with the lamps, it's a little bit dim. So the rescue squad has agreed to come in and give us some additional lighting, and they will also be set up for that. So everybody just come in, roam around the square, go in the businesses, enjoy yourself, and have a Merry Christmas, and start your Christmas shopping right there. And that's going to be the 19th and 20th of November. December 4th, the Lions Club will hold their Pancakes with Santa from 7 until 10 in the morning. And you can bring your kids and view the Christmas Village will be set up. And also bring your cameras and take pictures with Santa because he likes pancakes and he'll be there. The Lions Club Parade, which gets bigger every year, will start at noon on the 4th, on Saturday the 4th. So you want to be here for that also. And then Friday, December 10th, the Cannon County Senior Center will hold their 12th annual Christmas Gala, and you will enjoy dining at elegantly set tables. And the Christmas theme this year for their table settings will be a sparkling Christmas. So I love sparkle, that's fine. And you can enjoy good food, entertainment, plus a silent auction. And if you would like tickets for that event, it would be a great thing if you have a ladies club or a church club that you would like to attend this. You can call Deborah at 615-563-5304, and she'll be glad to help you. And we've got about 3 minutes left.
You might want to do that pretty quick, too, if you're going to plan on participating in this, because tables go fast.
I know, I always do one, and I'll do one again. I always wonder why I do that. Because you have to set it up in a couple of hours, and then when it's over, you take it down that night. So
You're going to give any viewers any, preview of what you're planning on decorating your table with, or is that?
lots of
surprise?
sparkle.
Lots of sparkles.
That's it.
So Carol will have enough sparkle that it'll blind people when they come in.
I'll have lots of sparkle.
Glitz and glamour. Basketball season starts in November. In fact, the 18th, right before the Christmas open house.
Oh, wow.
And then on the 20th, middle grades basketball's already started.
Right.
So football's winding down. Of course, like I say, the playoffs, which this will already be taped or put on the air by the time our first football playoff game is. And I mean, we're playing Signal Mountain, a good opportunity to advance, but we advance. We'll probably meet the we'll meet the big boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we advance.
The
so,
bears, the
yeah.
big bad bears.
Yeah.
All right. We've run out of time, and we're glad you stayed with us for this, and we hope you've learned something. And even if you haven't, we're glad that you were with us anyway and come to some of the events that we have in Cannon County. We want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving, and we want everybody to be safe.